Well, you know, I read the soul card every week, and this week, this person actually signed their name, and then next to it said, "I do not want to read this." That's clear.
Yeah.
That's clear. So here we are. What do you want this place to be in your life and for others? A place I can be with like people. How do you want it to feel? I want it to feel calm, caring, and respectful. Yeah? How will you bless this place? I will bring loving kindness and share it with all. Pretty good, huh? So thank you for writing this. If you're here, I'm not saying you're here or not, but thank you for that. That's a pretty card. So let's take a minute and pray. How about we do that, huh? Let's take a minute and take a deep breath in and out. You know, it seems like every month there's something in the nation that we celebrate, and this month is actually a celebration of Pride. It's Pride Month. And so I want to breathe in and breathe out, and in my heart and in our hearts, hold tenderly all of those people in the LGBTQIA+ community who feel as though their life is not worth it, who feel unworthy, who sometimes hear the messages that we send out in the media and on social media that tell them that they're not good enough, that they'll never be enough, and that there's something wrong with them. And so we can counteract that with the vibration in our heart that sends out love and connection and caring to every one of those human beings created in the image and likeness of God, meaning coming from love itself. No matter who they love, how they want to dress, what they look like, it doesn't matter. And let's send that love out to counteract the hate that they feel, to lift them up and to know they matter. Every single one of them, all the time, right now. Breathing in and out to that, we know that we make a difference when we vibrate at love for every living being. And so it is. Amen. Well, we've been told a lie. I was waiting for that. There's a lie that we've been told, and we've all accepted it as truth. You know, wait for it a little bit longer. Like, which one is she going to pick? No, the lie I'm picking is that more is better. Like, we've been told the lie that more is better. All of us, and we've all bought into it as well. You think, well, no, I've done some work on that. Yeah, maybe you've done some work on that. But let me tell you, we bought into that lie. And as I was thinking, what made me think of these things? I told you, always get what I think about this week, and this happens to be it. And I know it'll be enough. But I was thinking of my construction projects. And I was thinking, one of my nemeses in construction projects is contractors want to put more caulk everywhere. I'm like, more caulk is not good. More caulk, more paint, more fasteners, more furniture, more parking spaces, more, it's not good. There's a place and there's this lane where it's just right. We don't need more. You don't need more. Oh, 2 coats of paint looks good. Maybe we should have 3 or 4. Like, no, it's not necessary. There's a place. So I want to teach you a little bit about caulk, since it's my nemesis. About why caulk, and I have a visual, right, of course. Here's my visual of caulk. And there's a place where, here's a window, so here's like the wall over here, okay? Like the wall, and then you have the window, right? And here's the window frame and the window over here. And you can't put a window in and just crunch it in there. You need a little gap there, right? You need a little gap so you can actually fit the window in. But you don't want a really tiny gap and you don't want a real big gap. You want a gap that's just right? And usually for a caulk joint, it's 3/8 to 1/2 inch. I know this from my other job. Judy Skelnick knows this too because she works in construction. All right? And what you do is you put this little foam thing in there. It's called a backer rod. And you put this backer rod in that edge, and then you caulk on top of that, okay? And the perfect caulk joint is half the depth to the width. It's so nice. It's just right. It's just right. But this is what contractors want to do. They want to leave a big old 1.5 inches, and then they want to fill the whole thing with caulk. This is too much. It's too much. It doesn't work. Because caulk joints don't work this way either. Caulk joints want to be attached on 2 sides. And they want that half to depth width ratio. Like, this doesn't work. More caulk is not good. They just want to put it all in there. It's falling in. It's a mess. More caulk is a mess. Or they might want to measure the window opening and then make the window the size of the opening and not leave this nice little gap here. Well, you know what? Then you put this little piece, you can't even see it. This piece of caulk, I drew an arrow to it. It's like, you can't see this piece of caulk. It's terrible. It's too little. It's too little caulk. This will peel out of there, and in a year you'll have water coming in your building. Here, this thing will crack because it's not operating like it's supposed to. It's supposed to be like this right here. It's supposed to be just right. All right? All the time. This is my thing. All the time on job sites. So what I was thinking of, what is enough? This is enough caulk. This is enough caulk. This is enough. And there's that point of enough when it's just right. Right? It reminded me, and I know you probably laughed at this, it reminded me of that movie that was made in 2000 called Miss Congeniality. Everybody remember that movie? Most of you are old enough to remember that movie. Sandra Bullock. She's really sexy in that. She's But the best by far line in that movie is when Miss Rhode Island is asked to describe her perfect date. Remember that? And you know what she says? You remember what she says? She says, I'd say it's April 25th. Because it's not too hot and it's not too cold. You just might need a light jacket. The perfect date. That's it, April 25th. But the problem with us is we want a lineup of those perfect dates then. We don't just want one day to be like that. How many people are complaining in Wilmington now? It's been raining every weekend. No, it hasn't. It's been dry in Wilmington. It just happened to rain on Memorial Day weekend here. But we want April 25th all the time. I say maybe you should go to California. It's more like that. But they got rain there too. Right? We want just enough sunshine. We want a little bit of breeze, just a light breeze. We want the water temperature to be perfect all the time. It's like, no, that's too much. That's too much to ask for. That's too much. We're not satisfied because we want all this stuff. We want this to happen. We want bigger. We want better. We want bolder, right? We want brighter. We want more. Ooh, watch that candle. We want more. We want higher. We want faster. We want smarter. We don't have enough. There's just not enough. There's never enough. Enough is enough. Right? Enough is enough. Well, how much is enough? Like, how much is enough? I better move these to the side because I'll be tripping on them. God, look, it's enough already. How much is enough? I told you, for a caulk joint, it's half the depth to the width. But how much is enough for me? How much is enough for you? What is enough? Well, here's the definition of enough. And where does enough come from, by the way? These are the things I think about. Poor Renee, you might be saying. This is the definition from dictionary.com. Adequate for the want or need. Sufficient for the purpose or to satisfy a desire. That's what enough is. So, who decides? Who decides what's enough? Well, you do. And I do. So it's a decision about what is enough, right? We decide what's enough. And so I thought of some things about enoughness this week. And listen, I didn't cover every idea of enough. But you know what? It's going to be enough. Because it's what I got today, right? So here's the first thing I was thinking about with enough. I've moved several times in my life, made big moves. Like when I moved from Washington, D.C. to here to North Carolina, and then I moved from North Carolina to Utah for a while. Yes, I worked on an alfalfa farm, actually. And then I was like, and then I moved back to North Carolina, and then I bought a house, and I moved into the house, and a few years later, Renee and I met, we moved into another big house on Belvedere, and then we moved from Belvedere to Summerlin Falls. And here's what I'm saying about those moves, is each time as I look back on them, I decided that I had enough there. Like I was living here, and I was done with that. Like that was enough. I was ready to leave Washington, D.C. And it was not long after I had cancer that gave me the courage to do that. And I think that's what this is labeled. The courage to know when it's enough. The courage to say, you know what? I'm done here. I'm going to go here. Doesn't have to be mad. We don't have to stamp our feet about enough, but just to recognize, you know what? I'm done. That's enough. That's enough with that. I'm going out there. When I was in Utah, I lived in Moab, Utah. If anybody you know Red Rock country out there. So it was in the middle of nowhere. I thought it'd be great. No. I decided that I was an East Coast girl. I made the decision that was enough. That experience was that experience, and now I wanted to come back to the East Coast again. So I came back to Wilmington again. You see, the courage to say enough. Enough. I also did that about jobs. Some people are afraid to leave a job, or they really struggle with leaving a job. Not me. I'm like, I worked for Boney Architects here as a construction administrator for a while, and I worked on this project. And then after I did my first project, they wanted me to start 3 projects, like all at once in this. And I was like, no. Like, you're setting me up to fail. And the president of the company said, well, that's just what you have to do. So I quit. So I left, and I said, I've had enough with that. I'll contract back with you and do 2, which is what I did. Okay, because that was enough. 3 was too many. 3 was too much. Too much. 2 was just enough. 2 was just right. It's the courage to say that, no matter what area of your life. We do that in our health as well. In your health, you have to decide. Like if you're in pain, like, have I had enough of this pain? Is it time for surgery? Is it time for a lifestyle change? Is it time for a drug that'll help me? You have to say, I've had enough with that. People in recovery make that decision all the time. They say, listen, I've had enough with this life. I'm ready for something else. Right? I'm done. I'm enough already. Enough already. I'm going over here. Right? You've done that. To have the courage to say enough. Right? That's one thing I was thinking about. The other thing I was thinking about came from Wayne Dyer's book, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life, about the Tao. You know, I've been slowly waking my way through here since the beginning of the year. I'm now on page 44. Whew. How many years do you think it'll take me to do that? You might be hearing about it for a long time. Here's what the 9th verse of the Tao says. To keep on filling is not as good as stopping. Overfilled, the cupped hands drip. Better to stop pouring. Sharpen a blade too much, and its edge will soon be lost. Fill your house with jade and gold, and it actually brings insecurity. Puff yourself with honor and pride, and no one can save you from the fall. He says, cramming life with possessions, pleasures, pride, and activities when we obviously reach a point where more is less indicates being in harmony with ego rather than Tao. More, more, more. Right? Living humility knows when to just stop, let go, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Living with humility. This is the thing, to be satisfied at a level that fosters living with humility. That's the stopping point. That's the enough point, is living with humility, not buying into this lie that more is better. You know, I thought about, is more salt in the soup better? Only to a point. And then you got to throw out the whole batch. Right? If wealth and fame are desired, we must know when to retire from the treadmill and be like the Tao. This is the way of heaven as opposed to the world that we live in, which is addicted to more. Addicted to more. It's the wisdom of knowing how much is enough. Right? And we've got to stop and think about that. Or stop and be still about that. Or stop and be in meditation about that. Or how it ever is. Like, is more really better in this case? Do I feel humble? Or do I feel like I'm trying to get ahead? Or I have to have something. Oh my gosh. I've been there. Too much stuff. We have too much stuff. I'll just say it. Look around your house. You have too much stuff. We have too much stuff. We just took a big bag of clothes that Renee and I took out of our closet over to Nifty Thrifty. Nifty Thrifty is on Carolina Beach Road. They allow people from Good Shepherd to come in there and shop for free. So it's one place that Renee and I like to support. We took this big bag. You know what? We probably have 3 more bags like that we could have taken. But it was a start, you know. Too much stuff. Too much. We have to have the wisdom to know how much is enough. To be in the flow of the Tao. And the last one I want to talk about is, the ever-present one that I think we all have. I'm going to project that on everybody. Is knowing that I am enough. Like, are you enough? Do you know you're enough? Like, could you just look in the mirror and say, just right? I mean, really, come on. Can you do it? It's like, just right. Oh my gosh, why is that so hard? Just right. Hips, the whole thing. Wow. I don't know. Can we accept that I'm enough? I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm falling down, I'm getting up, I'm making mistakes, I'm going fast, I'm being still, I'm trying hard, and just right. All in the mix. While that's happening, just right. Like that's it there. It doesn't mean that I'm not working toward my potential. It doesn't mean I don't study. It doesn't mean I don't think that I could improve something in my life. It means along the way, I am just right. Like I'm good. I'm not too much. I'm not too little. I'm just right while I'm living. while I'm living. It's spiritual work. It's both those things. You know, we like to live in black and white. Well, I'm either going to be this way or that way. Well, no, it doesn't have to be this way or that way. Most of us live in gray. I like black myself, but most of us live in gray. We don't live in black and white. So it's both. I can be just right and I can be working toward whatever it is that I feel compelled toward. Having the perfect garden. Not perfect, having a garden. Getting a degree. Oh, that's good. Here's my definition. This kind of work is spiritual work. It is learning to set aside the allure and the illusion of greatness somewhere out there and to accept, to be humble, to be satisfied as you move through life. Because enoughness happens in the moment. Enoughness happens right now. And you're in charge of it. You're in charge of it. No one else is in charge of it. And here's the thing. This idea of not enoughness, it's killing you. It's killing you. It's killing your energy. It's killing the life and the gift that you are to this world. It is smashing it down. That's what's happening. I was at a picnic over Memorial Day weekend, and I was talking to this young woman who just finished this certification. Like, she'd been doing these studies, and she just done this certification, and she's standing like this in front of me, and she goes, but I don't know if I'm ready. Maybe I need to shadow somebody else for a while, you know. And my friends are asking me if I would do this for them, this thing I've been trained for, but I'm not sure I should do it with my friends. I'm thinking, why not? What a great place to start. Like, how are you feeling not enough? You just finished this certification program. Go do it. Of course, I didn't say it quite like that. But that's what I want to say. Like, wake up. You're enough right now. You don't have to shadow somebody else who's doing that thing. It's not surgery. She's not training to be a surgeon. All right? She's not doing anything that's going to cause life or death. All right? But she did the training. She put in her time. Like, she's enough right now. Like, you're enough right now. You got ready, you know? Just do it for a while. You know, not enoughness is not humility. Oh, you know, I'm not sure. Like, not enoughness is not humility. Not enoughness is fear. It's shame. That's what it is. Not enoughness is about that. Not enoughness is not humility. Humility is standing here in front of you in all of my splendor and failure and lack and limitation and whatever you see, and knowing that just right for now. All right? That's what it's about. Here's my desk calendar. I know, 2022, but still on the 25th. Neil Donald Walsh. Your soul doesn't care what you do for a living. Let me say that again. Your soul doesn't care what you do for a living. And when your life is over, neither will you. Sting. Your soul cares only about what you are being while you are doing whatever you are doing. And I want you to be enough. I want you to practice being enough. Not egotistically, that's not it. With humility. Not saying I'm done growing, I've done everything there is to do, I'm done. No. That's not it. And your soul only cares how you're being as you're doing. That's it. So I'm just asking you to practice being enough. Practice being and feeling enough. And then, go out and climb the mountain. Go out and feed the homeless. Go out and build a bridge. Go out and write a book or run a marathon or whatever you're going to do. Go out to the beach. Go out and get married. Whatever it is, do that. And not to become enough, but to realize that I'm already enough. You see, we don't do those things to get to be enough, because that's taken care of. We just carry that energy with us. Why does it matter? Because not enough is killing us. It's killing us. It's killing our dreams. It's killing our passions. It's killing the gift that we are here to share. And here's the other thing, and ever as important, is that when we are vibrating at enoughness, we invite others to do the same thing. We invite others. I hope this young woman I talked to felt that in me. Like, just be enough is what I was hoping she was feeling. I don't know if she did or not. But if I can vibrate at that, then I invite others to do exactly the same thing. Yeah? And that is important. That is important. That's the signal right there for meditation, by the way. So we're going to do that right now. And I invite you to take a deep breath and let's settle in for a moment. Let's just settle into this moment. And see if it's possible at all to look into that mirror and to see just right. Not someday, not when, not as soon as, but just right now. I am enough. And I'll keep doing what I'm doing. And at the same time, I'll carry enoughness. That'll be my foundation. To just feel like, hey, I'm enough. I brought enough. I offered enough. I know when it's enough. I'm enough. Just for these few minutes in meditation. Listen to these words from Mary Oliver. One day, you finally knew what you had to do and began, though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice. Though the whole house began to tremble and you felt the old tug at your ankles. Mend my life, each voice cried. But you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do. Though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible, it was already late enough and a wild night and the road full of fallen branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice which you so slowly recognized as your own, that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life you could save. Amen.
There she was, sitting in the corner. She lost everything she had. As tears went down her saddening face, and her heart was full in pain, I kneeled down and placed my hand on her chin. I looked her dead in the eyes, a grin on my face and a song in my voice. So I sang, so I sang. I sing because I'm happy, I sing because I'm free. Yes, I'm free.